This episode of Taza Help is brought to you by Carbonite. What's up guys, in this video I'm going to be doing my review of the new iPhone 5. So the first thing we're going to talk about with the iPhone 5 is the design. So the design of the iPhone 5 has changed a good bit since the iPhone 4S. First thing you'll probably notice is now it has a 4-inch screen. Now remember that is diagonally from corner to corner, and the iPhone 4S had a 3.5-inch screen. So you're going to get an extra ½ inch. But the way they did this was did it up and down. So the screen is actually longer up and down now. The device itself is not actually longer this way. So it actually fits in your hand the same way. You just got more screen real estate. So you can have more room for apps and games, stuff like that. Also, you get that extra row of icons. So they changed up the size of the screen and gave you more screen real estate with making it fit in your hand the same way. And I can pretty much touch the whole screen like that. Fits perfect. Speaking of the screen on the iPhone 5, I've actually already cracked mine. I didn't mess up the digitizer or anything, and it's working just fine, but I cracked it right here from the corner to like right there, and it goes right across the screen. Not too bad, but I may get that fixed, either replacing the screen or just go get a new iPhone if it gets worse. Other than it being a little bigger, the screen on the iPhone 5 doesn't really look any better than the iPhone 4S, except it does have 40% better color saturation, which you can really only tell a big difference if you put them right up beside each other, and it's still not that much different. And of course, they made the iPhone 5 a little bit thinner and lighter. If you compare it to the 4S, it is now 18% thinner and 20% lighter. When I first picked up the iPhone 5, I actually thought it felt cheap compared to the 4S, and I guess it was just because it was lighter and it was made out of a different material. But once I actually used it for a while, got used to it, and then went back and picked up my iPhone 4S, it felt like it was made cheaply, and it was super heavy and bulky, and it just feels like it's super old technology, even though it's perfectly fine. Like, I didn't even want to use it. Like, I would much rather prefer to use the iPhone 5 over the 4S now. And it's just because I've got used to it. It just feels old now. The iPhone 5 has the new lightning connector, which I like. I think it's pretty nice. It's now 9 pins rather than the 30-pin dock connector we had before, so it's a little bit smaller. And it's also reversible. So if you plug it in one way, you can spin it around, plug it right in the other way into your phone. It just makes it a little bit smaller. It looks nicer. And I think it was time for Apple to update to a new cable. It was just time. The only downfall to that, if you have a lot of accessories that fit the old 30-pin dock connector, is either you have to buy the 30-pin dock connector to lightning adapter, or you have to go out and buy all new like speaker docks and accessories for the iPhone 5. The iPhone 5 comes in 2 colors, black or white, the black being more known as slate. That's just what they're calling it because it's a metal and it's got like a black paint finish thing over it, and then of course it's got the black glass. And then the white model is more of a silver metal looking model where the glass is white and the rest is just a nice silver sleek looking metal. Either way, the black and the white iPhone 5 both look nice. Just in my preference, I picked the black one. My girlfriend got the white one. I still like that one too. Just in my preference, I picked the black one. I think it looks pretty sweet. But one thing to note, if you do get the black model, is a lot of people have reported scratching. Sometimes even before they open it out of the box, there'll be scratches on the black paint. I myself have dropped it a few times, and there's a few little like scratches and dents, but it's not too bad. Like, none of my black paint is actually scratched off. I would just be either careful with your phone and put a case on it, or go with the white one if you don't even want to deal with the scratching. So overall, I like the design of the iPhone 5. It still looks a lot like the iPhone 4 and 4S, which was super nice. I love that design, except now it's thinner, lighter, a bigger screen, and I think that even the back looks even better with the 2 color tone design. Next up, let's talk about the processor in the iPhone 5. Of course, it features Apple's A6 processor, whereas the iPhone 4S has Apple's A5 processor. Now, is it much faster? No. If you put them right beside each other, you can notice a difference. Like, games are going to load up a little bit faster. They don't really play better or look any better, but they do open up and load a little bit faster, which isn't too much of a difference. If you put them right beside each other and take pictures, you can see that the pictures take a little bit faster, or if you're like on a lock screen of your device, you swipe up, you can take pictures a good bit faster, but you're really not going to notice that difference, and again, unless you put the phones right beside each other. So is it a big upgrade from the A6 to the A5? I'd say no. Mostly what it does is just it helps the overall performance of your phone. So it does make it run just a little bit more smoothly, but it doesn't make it that much faster. Next up, let's talk about the cameras on the iPhone 5, and we'll start off with the back-facing camera. The only thing really new in it now is that it's a little bit thinner. They made the camera actually smaller, and that it's also got the new sapphire crystal lens. So it's pretty much the same camera as in the iPhone 4S, just a little bit of a better lens. Does it make it look that much better? No. If you take pictures from the back-facing camera, you really don't notice that much of a difference. It does have better colors. Like if you actually look at the pictures on each phone right beside each other, like if you put a 4S there and an iPhone 5, the pictures are going to look a lot better just because of the better color saturation on the screen. But other than that, the pictures, if you looked at them and took them from both phones on the computer, you can't really tell that much of a difference. Some instances, they look better on the iPhone 4S, and then some it looked better on the iPhone 5. And the same goes with video on the back-facing camera. It pretty much looks just the same. One thing they did add is a little bit better video stabilization, so that looks a little bit better. But other than that, it doesn't look that much better. The audio, of course, is a lot better now because it has new microphones. But other than that, the video is pretty much the same. Now, the front-facing camera on the iPhone 5 is where we got a big update. And this is probably my favorite thing that's new in the iPhone 5 is the better camera on the front. So now you can do 720p HD videos from your front-facing camera. It's 1.2 megapixels. And if you compare it to the iPhone 4S's camera, it was VGA quality. It just looks terrible. Standard definition. It looks so much better. The colors are better. It's in HD. Just all around, it's so much better. So if you're wanting to do Skype calls or FaceTime, if you're wanting to do YouTube videos or just videos from your front-facing camera, now you can see yourself and they're going to be in HD, so you can upload them to YouTube or do whatever else you want with those. Next up, let's talk about LTE, data, and Wi-Fi speeds on the iPhone 5. The iPhone 5 has a new and improved antenna, which eliminates the death grip issue that we had on the iPhone 4 and 4S, where if you squeeze your phone, your services start dropping. So they fixed that. And it's also supposed to make your data speeds, like your Wi-Fi, your LTE, your 3G, a lot faster. Now for me, over Wi-Fi, I haven't really noticed a speed increase with the new antenna, but I know with LTE, it is super fast. And it may not just be because of the antenna, but LTE itself is just fast in general. Like actually on most of the speed tests I run, I either get as fast or faster than my home internet, which is 30 down, 5 up. So that's pretty ridiculous that I can get the same speeds or faster on my iPhone than I can at home. So 4G LTE on the iPhone 5 is awesome. I have it with AT&T. I was kind of skeptical about staying with them for 4G because I kind of want to switch to Verizon for their 4G, but AT&T actually hasn't let me down. It's been just as good. Now remember, LTE isn't available everywhere. Some people don't even have it in their area at all. So otherwise, rather than using LTE, you'll just use 3G when you're not in an LTE area. Another thing with the iPhone 5 and LTE is that it eats data like crazy. So if I were you, I would not go with the lower plan that you get with the iPhone. I would go with the more 2 gigabyte plan at least. I go over that every single month, and sometimes I'll go over it and then go over the extra amount that I get just because it's been using so much data. And of course, we got to talk about battery life on the iPhone 5. Now, Apple says you're going to get 8 hours of talk time on 3G. You're going to get 225 hours of standby time. With internet use, you're going to get 8 hours on 3G, 8 hours on LTE, 10 hours on Wi-Fi, and then for video playback, you get 10 hours, and then audio playback, you will get 40 hours of battery life. Now, I'm not going by that. For me, I use my phone all day long, and sometimes I use it more than other times. Most of the time it will last me all day, but a lot of the times it will still die around 6 to 8 o'clock in the afternoon. But that's me. I use my phone a ton pretty much all day long. It's pretty much like any other smartphone. If you use it all day, it's going to die before you get to the end of your day. Most of the time what I'll do is I'll charge my phone in the middle of the day because I'm at home a lot. So if you're going to be maybe in the car and you have some time to charge it then, or at the office or at home for a few hours in the middle of the day, you should make your phone last all day long. For me, it's pretty much the same as any other iPhone or any other smartphone that I've used. The iPhone 5 comes pre-installed with iOS 6, which is Apple's new operating system. I don't really have too many gripes about it because I like iOS. Of course, iOS 6, as I've said, could use some customization changes and maybe just a new look, just something to change it up and give it a different new feel just because I've had it the same look for so long. But other than that, I don't really have much to complain about iOS. I like it. There's tons of apps. You've got an app for everything you could pretty much ever want. default. One thing though, as I've said before, iOS 6 really shouldn't be called iOS 6, but that's on Apple to name it that if they want to. I really think it should just be like iOS 5 point something of an update, just because there wasn't that much new stuff. One of the new things is of course Maps, which a lot of people complained about. For me, and my advice to you is I would not worry about that. Maps is still nice for me. It's worked just fine to get everywhere I've needed to go. I haven't had any really problems with it. I think that most of the people that's had problems, it's just not good in certain areas or for certain things. But either way, there's still tons of other Maps applications on the iPhone. That's not the only one that you have to go with. And plus, Google Maps hopefully will be coming out soon again for the iPhone. Now, one downfall of the iPhone 5 and something that's really aggravated me is that a lot of the apps don't fit the new iPhone 5 screen. It's 4 inches now, so they've got to stretch and redesign those apps to fit the new screen, and a lot of developers haven't done that yet. If you go in the App Store, you can see that Apple has now updated all of their apps to fit the iPhone 5 screen, and of course all their stock apps do. And then there's a section in there in the App Store where you can see all the iPhone 5 apps that do fit the screen now, which is, it's growing, it's getting bigger. But there's still so many apps that I use every day that don't fit the screen. So now when I open it up, I just have to see annoying black letterbox bars at the top and bottom of the screen where there's no thing to fill that space. It does look a little better if you have the black iPhone 5, so there's a plus if you do decide to get that one, because the black letterbox bars kind of blend in with the black glass and you can't really tell where the screen starts. But yeah, it kind of stinks, and I wish that all the apps would be fitting the new iPhone 5 screen, since that's what is so special about the iPhone 5. It has a bigger screen, but I can't take advantage of it. So that's a downfall. And finally, let's talk about price. The iPhone 5 starts out at $200 for a 16 gigabyte model. And then of course, now you can also get the iPhone 4S for only $100. And then that bumped down the iPhone 4 to free. And that of course, for all three of those is if you get a contract with your carrier. Unfortunately, it's way more expensive if you don't get a contract with it. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good price point, $200. And I would say that you probably should go with the iPhone 5. It's got the new Lightning connector, so you're gonna be buying all those new Lightning connector accessories if you have other Apple devices, so why not have them all on the same page? It's got the new screen, it's faster, it's pretty much just the new thing, and it's only $100 more than the iPhone 4S. But if you don't have $200 to spend and you don't care about having that bigger screen and all that, you could go with the iPhone 4S for only $100. Or if you're somebody who just has no idea about smartphones or doesn't really want to spend extra money to get a smartphone, you can get the iPhone 4, which is still a pretty good phone, for completely free if you get a contract. So you got lots of good options if you want to get an iPhone 4, iPhone 4S, or iPhone 5. When the iPhone 5 was announced, like always, a lot of haters came out and said that the iPhone 5 is not a big upgrade to the iPhone 4S. They didn't change the design, they didn't update all this stuff, they could have did so much more. But I came out and said that it is a big update, and I still feel it is. Everything in the phone's been updated. They made a bigger screen, they made it smaller, lighter, faster, better camera or better lens. Like everything in the phone, if it hasn't been made better, they made it smaller and thinner so that they can make the rest of the phone look better and be thinner. Everything in it is better. But since I've been using it, it really hasn't felt that much new and different to me. Like, there's nothing in the iPhone 5 that just gets me so excited about it that I didn't have in my iPhone 4S, other than just having a little bit of a bigger screen and then faster speed. But really, that hasn't made my overall iPhone experience much more different. I'm not saying that the iPhone 5 is bad. I think it's a great phone. I just think that it's not too much of an upgrade from the iPhone 4S. Like, there's just nothing that changes how we use the phone every day. It's just a little bit better. So if you came up to me and asked me the question, should you get the iPhone 5? I'm going to say yes. I think it's a great phone. I love using it every day, and I couldn't see myself, at least as of right now, switching to anything other than an iPhone just until Apple starts making complete crap, which hopefully doesn't happen anytime soon. Now before we head out of here, let's take one last look at our sponsor for this video, Carbonite. Carbonite Online Backup is automatic cloud backup for your computer files at your home office or small business. Just set it up once and Carbonite will protect your files so that you can worry about running your business with no hardware required. With Carbonite, getting lost files back is super easy. Your employees can even access their backed up files on their smartphone or iPad using the free Carbonite app. Carbonite is the better backup plan for the home office or small business. If you want to check it out and start your free trial today, go to Carbonite carbonite.com and enter the promo code TY today, and you will get 2 free months if you decide to buy. Again, carbonite.com, and for those 2 additional months, go and enter promo code TY. TY. Alright guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video or if it helped you out in any way, please be sure to click the like button down there below the video. I really appreciate it and it helps me out a ton. And also let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about the iPhone 5. Do you already have one? Do you want to get one? Or are you maybe Android or Windows phone? What's your thoughts on the iPhone 5? I'm interested to know no matter what side of the fence you are on. And also make sure you subscribe for more videos just like this. In a couple days I'll be getting the new iPad mini, so I've got lots of videos and stuff coming on that. And also if you want to check out any of my iPhone 5 videos that I've done to see more in-depth coverage and stuff of it, you can go check out my channel. I've got a playlist of all of that and I'll put it also in the description down below. So that's it. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.